Item number 5, Mr. Mueller.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I move that Resolution 2009-004, allocation of state special projects funds, granting funding for fiscal year 2008 be approved.
Second.
Moved and seconded, and we'll note that the staff cover letter that with item 5 also applies to items 6 and 7. Mr. Herwig.
Mr. Train, members of the council, ladies and gentlemen, as you indicated, this and the following 2 items all pertain to an application to the state for a special project grant, what we call the SSP grant, for a portion of Carmichael. This is the Len Roberts Park, Carmichael Elementary School, and so the area south running along here, adjacent to the neighborhoods that have, of course, been there for many years. The application is asking for $300,000 to do pedestrian improvements along this area, basically be sidewalks along the west side, and then improvements, of course, at this area, the ADA ramps, and some landscaping if we can fit that in to the cost of the particular project. We would also try to add bike lanes, and you may remember that several meetings ago you had approved an application to the state for Safer Routes to School funds, which would continue this project north of the elementary school along Carmichael. As I said, this is an application for $300,000. It would benefit an area which this particular type of grant funding is aimed for, which is low and moderate income neighborhoods, and it also indicate that this is one of the areas which was targeted in the housing study which was completed recently for the city, and that we're working on the policy to follow up the council's strategic plan. This was one of the neighborhoods that was identified as a target area for attention, and so this project would fit in very nicely both with the housing study and also with the project to the north of this. If we get both, we would be able to complete those improvements along a rather long length of Carmichael that has never had this kind of pedestrian improvements. The first one, actually, this is part of how the state process works. The first resolution actually allocates what the funds would be for. The second one actually authorizes the submission of the application. And the third one commits the city to about $20,000 in-kind contribution, which would basically be the engineering costs, the construction management, and the inspections on the site.
Okay, thank you. Any comments or questions from council?
Mr. Mayor, I'd just like to ask Mr. Herwig if both grants are received, is that enough to complete the project, or will there be an amount that the city will need to put forward to finish it?
Mayor Stern and Councilmember Husking, our hope would be that that would be enough to actually complete the improvements with no additional funds other than, of course, the in-kind that I was talking about for the city's construction management and that kind of thing. As Chuck indicated on several of the recent projects, the city has gotten some pretty good bids on construction projects. Hopefully that would also apply here.
And when would you be able to find out?
I think this actually has to be submitted next week, and I was looking for Jennifer, but I don't see her. Usually with the state, it takes a couple of months on these before we get the indication as to whether there'll be an award or not.
And if you did get it approved, then when would the work begin?
Basically, as soon as the basic engineering plans have been done, as soon as we'd have to go through the city process of finishing up the engineering plans, putting out to bid. As a guesstimate, 3 months after, probably somewhere in that neighborhood, it would start construction.
Okay. Thank you.
Any other questions? All in favor? It's unanimous. Item number 6, related.
Mr. Mayor, I move that Resolution 2009-005, submission of application for fiscal year 2008 State Special Project SSP funds be approved.
Second.
Mr. Herwig.
Mr. Chairman, members of the council, ladies and gentlemen, this is the second part of the process required by the state. This resolution actually authorizes the submittal of the application that was just allocated by the previous resolution.
Okay. Questions? All in favor?
I have a question.
You have?
Yes, I do.
I thought you were voting.
I'm sorry. My question is, did we, since we determined how it was going to be allocated, do we have to do that in order to have that on the application? Because we determined that how we're going to allocate the funds, and then we said, yes, you can apply for them.
Mr. and Councilmember Doctor, we actually have to have the three separate, and the next one that follows, which commits the city to the in-kind contribution.
Okay, thank you.
All in favor? It's unanimous. Item number 7, Mr. Reardon.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I move that Resolution 2009-006, committing local resources in lieu of cash funding as leverage for the 2008 State Special Projects SSP Program grant funds, an application be approved.
Second.
Mr. Herwig?
Restrained members of the council.
Anything left to say?
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the third part required by the state, simply committing the city to the in-kind portion of the grant application.
Okay. Any question? All in favor? It's unanimous. Thanks, Mr. Herwig. Item number 8, Mr. Mueller.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I move that reappointment of Mignon Hollis and James E. Jim Moffitt Sr. to the Citizens Advisory Commission, said terms to run concurrently with the appropriate appointed official, be approved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. I see neither of them.
No,
Oh,
Mr.
yeah, Jim's here, yeah.
Dr. Moffitt's here, yeah.
Okay. All in favor? It's approved. Item number 9, Ms. Husking.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I move that Resolution 2009-008, appointing Clara Billick, said term to expire August 27th, 2009, and appointing Lori Kovash, said term to expire August 27th, 2010, to the Environmental Affairs Commission be approved.
Second.
And both are here. Would you like to
raise your hand,
raise your
lady?
hand?
Thank you, and thank you, Jim, for being here and for accepting the appointment. All in favor of item 9? It's unanimous. Item number 10, Mrs. Doctor.
Mr. Mayor, I move that Resolution 2009-009, appointing Brian Belleros to the Airport Commission, said term to expire October 12th, 2009, be approved.
Second.
He's not here.
Brian was here.
He was, yes.
Okay. All in favor? And that's unanimous.